Xiao Yin left Spirit Mountain directly and returned to the Spirit Hall on his own. The Earth Spirit Hall was divided into the Earth Hall and Spirit Hall, but the two were part of the same entity and fell under the vast domain of the Earth Spirit Hall. The Hall's leadership decided to divide this extensive territory into 3 sections, upper, middle, and lower, for more efficient governance. Among them, the Earth Hall dominated, occupying the fertile southern region, while the Spirit Hall resided in the northern area. The central lands were home to countless beings and forces living under the protection of the Earth Spirit Hall. The core of the Spirit Hall was located at the center of a colossal city, where Xiao Yin currently found himself. The city's bustling streets and sheer scale, spanning hundreds of miles, left Xiao Yin in awe, showcasing the profound foundation of the Spirit Hall. Its prosperity far exceeded Xiao Yan's imagination, with thriving marketplaces and busy streets bustling with life. The city was home to millions of beings, including not only humans but also ghostly entities in soul form. Yet, under the Spirit Hall's protection, these diverse residents lived in harmony. I wonder how cultivation and training are carried out within the Spirit Hall, Xiao Yin mused as he returned to his residence. He had intended to seek out the Elder of Earth, but was informed by a senior disciple that the Elder was away. Left with no other options, Xiao Yin decided to explore the city. The Spirit Hall was located at the city center, but Xiao Yan's residence was at the outskirts of this area. He had not yet officially joined the Spirit Hall, as entering its inner sanctum required the guidance of the Sect Master to avoid getting lost in its labyrinthine layout. Thus, Xiao Yin opted to familiarize himself with the city first. A tea house. Perfect, Xiao Yin muttered as he came across a tea house named Fragrant Pavilion. He stepped inside and sat down. Since he was new to this place, gathering information seemed like a logical first step. Tea houses and taverns, often brimming with people, were prime locations for intelligence gathering. However, Xiao Yin was cautious about revealing his identity as an alchemist. With the Elder of Earth already aware of his possession of the sacred flame, exposing his alchemy skills could further restrict his freedom. "Hey, have you heard the news?" a loud voice exclaimed from another table, shortly after Xiao Yin sat down. "What news?" asked 2 scholarly-looking men seated nearby, turning their attention to the speaker, a burly man with a hearty demeanor. "They say the lovesick tree in the central region of the Earth Spirit Hall's territory is about to appear," the burly man said, gulping down his tea with gusto. "The lovesick tree?" Xiao Yin whispered, startled. The name immediately caught his attention, as it reminded him of the Heartbreak flame he was searching for. Could there be a connection? After all, Xiao Yan's primary objectives were to restore the power of his master, the master of ferocious souls, and to locate the Heartbreak flame. "You look unfamiliar, young man," the burly man said with a smile, noticing Xiao Yan's reaction. "But let me tell you, the lovesick tree is a miraculous creation, formed from the life essence and souls of a pair of star-crossed lovers. It's said that making a wish beneath the lovesick tree can ensure eternal love. Furthermore, there's an extremely slim chance of entering the tree's internal space, which is rumored to contain heavenly treasures, cultivation techniques, and combat skills. However, throughout recorded history, only one person has ever entered its internal space," the burly man added, his tone tinged with awe. "Who was it?" Xiao Yin asked, his curiosity piqued. Clearly, the lovesick tree was more extraordinary than it seemed on the surface. "The Spirit Hall Master," the burly man said, lowering his voice as his eyes darted around warily. There seemed to be an unspoken reverence, or fear, associated with this name. "The Spirit Hall Master?" Xiao Yin echoed, astonished. The wonders of the lovesick tree aside, the Spirit Hall Master's strength alone was likely at an unfathomable level. Such a figure. "I've heard a bit about the Spirit Hall Master," the burly man continued with a knowing grin. "They say the Master is a human who fell in love with a female ghost from the ghost realm. For a ghost to fully reincarnate into a human, they must gather the 7 souls and 6 spirits to form a complete soul and then use a special method to forge a body. Despite trying countless methods, the Spirit Hall Master was unable to help his beloved create a body. One day, the lovesick tree appeared. Without informing his wife, the Master ventured to the tree and, by chance, entered its internal space. No one knows what he experienced inside, but upon his return, he secluded himself in meditation. His beloved wife is said to be rather unique, rendering ordinary body-forging methods ineffective. Even the Hall Master of the Spirit Hall utilized all his connections across the entire ferocious soul domain, but failed to find a solution. Hence, I conclude that the inner space of the lovesick tree must hold something mysterious, said the two scholar-like figures with a laugh. And now, news of the impending descent of the lovesick tree will likely spread throughout the Spirit Hall. When that happens, factions and sects in the central region of the realms will undoubtedly engage in a fierce struggle for it, the plump man said slowly. Listening to you all, if the lovesick tree is so mysterious, why would you spread news of it? Xiao asked curiously. Hee, the lovesick tree is indeed mysterious, but its allure to ghostly beings is lethal. After all, every ghostly creature longs to gather their 7 souls and 6 spirits to forge a body and be reborn as human. However, within a kilometer radius of the lovesick tree lies an exceptionally unique force known as lovesick power. This power is irresistible. Only those harboring true love in their hearts can resist it. Without such love, no one can approach the tree within a kilometer, let alone enter its inner space. Thus, while we yearn for it, we are not fated for it. That kind of lovesick power cannot be resisted. If we recklessly approach, it would only lead to unnecessary casualties. The plump man finished, his eyes flashing with a hint of regret. I see. Xiao nodded slowly upon hearing this. He then drained the tea in his hand and left the place immediately. The lovesick tree. I recall that this tree and the Heartbreak flame come from the same lineage. Could I be mistaken? As Xiao departed, the voice of the Soul Devourer Master abruptly echoed in his mind. The lovesick tree is about to descend. It seems I must act quickly. When I rashly extracted the Heartbreak flame from the lovesick tree and separated them into 2 locations, its power began to gradually weaken. I hope everything I've done is not in vain, muttered the Master of Ferocious Souls as he appeared within his grand temple in the highest void of the ferocious soul domain. As his voice faded, a pink flame danced like an elf in his palm, attempting to escape his grasp, only to be firmly surrounded by sinister patterns. Meanwhile, Xiao returned to his residence to find Xiao Gui back safely. However, he noticed Xiao Gui wearing a silly grin, as if something good had happened. After inquiring briefly and confirming that there was no cause for concern, Xiao Gui's injuries were temporarily suppressed by Luo Menglan. They agreed to reconvene in a few days to eradicate the issue entirely. With that assurance, Xiao didn't worry further and went to rest, knowing that Spirit Hall disciples would escort them into the Spirit Hall the next day under the Elder of Earth's personal supervision. At this moment, under the blazing sun, shocking events were unfolding in other regions of the Earth Spirit Hall's domains. In the southernmost part of the Earth Spirit Hall's domain, where the Earth Hall resided, atop a mystical mountain range rich in world energy. Elder of Earth, what brings you here? A gentle breeze swept through, and the Elder of Earth's figure flashed across the sky like lightning. Below, a refined man with an air of scholarly elegance smiled faintly. The man, dignified and cultured, exuded the aura of a well-read scholar. Between his brows was a commanding presence, and his faintly revealed strength, at the perfected 4-star Do Xian level, was enough to inspire awe. Here lay a veritable paradise, with flourishing peach trees in full bloom. Clear streams wove through the peach grove, dotted with paths. This idyllic scene, suffused with dense world energy, was clearly a retreat for some of the Earth Hall's reclusive elders. Is Sect Master Ling present? The Elder of Earth asked the disciple calmly. My father is in the peach grove. Please, Elder of Earth, replied the young man, Ling Yu, gesturing politely before stepping aside. The Elder of Earth nodded slightly and proceeded toward the peach grove. Elder of Earth, has Sect Master Luo Zhamu agreed to the marriage between me and Miss Luo Menglan? Ling Yu couldn't help but ask as the elder passed him. I don't know. I'll ask old Luo when I see him, replied the Elder of Earth, frowning slightly, evidently unimpressed by the matter. Damn it! Ling Yu cursed inwardly as the elder disappeared from sight. Luo Minglan, did you really think I, the young master, would fancy an idiot like you? If not for Luo Zhamu holding key information about the sacred flame's whereabouts, why would I stoop to seeking the master of ferocious soul's favor for this marriage? I still don't understand why the strong ones from the extraterritorial evil clan are ordering us to gather sacred flames. Rustle, rustle. As the words fell, a faint trace of dark lines appeared between Ling Yu's brows. At the moment these dark patterns emerged, it felt as though his entire being was engulfed in a boundless hell. If Xiao Yin were present, he would instantly recognize this as the sinister power mark bestowed upon humans by the extraterritorial evil clan. It bore a striking resemblance to the marks placed on their servants. However, why Ling Yu possessed such a mark remained a mystery, considering his talent and status were among the highest in the entire Earth Spirit Hall. Earth Spirit Old Ghost, you're still as impatient as ever. Suddenly, an elegant pavilion emerged in the center of the peach grove. Within the pavilion sat two men in luxurious robes, their tranquil voices breaking the silence as they played an intense game of chess. These two appeared to be middle-aged, their jet-black hair brimming with vitality. Yet, the overwhelming aura emanating from their bodies was akin to mountains and rivers, profoundly awe-inspiring. Sect Master Ling and Sect Master AI. The Earth Spirit Old Ghost greeted with a faint smile as he stepped into the pavilion. Well, what brings you here this time? Sect Master Ling asked, halting his chess move and fixing his gaze on the newcomer. The lovesick tree is about to reappear in the central region of the Earth Spirit Hall's domain. The Earth Spirit Old Ghost said with a tone of weighty significance, his words laden with implications. Oh, the lovesick tree? Sect Master Ling's voice carried an odd undertone, a mix of surprise and curiosity. The lovesick tree, huh? If I recall correctly, it's a rare divine tree, Sect Master AI said with a touch of envy. Your Spirit Hall's leader greatly benefited from it back in the day, though the mysteries within the tree remain unknown to us. The Sect Masters held the highest authority in their respective halls, managing all matters big and small. Meanwhile, the so-called principal and vice principal of the academies remained secluded, emerging only in moments of grave crisis. Thus, the decision-making power within the Earth Hall and Spirit Hall rested solely with these Sect Masters. The reappearance of the lovesick tree. Why are you here to tell us this? Sect Master Ling asked after a brief pause, his tone laced with amusement. I'm here to ask Sect Master Ling to restrain your disciples from entering the territory where the lovesick tree will appear. This time, it's Spirit Hall's turn. The Earth Spirit Old Ghost replied with a soft chuckle. Heh, Earth Spirit Old Ghost, that's not quite fair. Treasures of heaven and earth belong to those with fate on their side. The lovesick tree is shrouded in mystery, and your trip here might end up being in vain, Sect Master AI remarked with a light laugh. Oh, really? In an instant, an immense and terrifying doqi surged from the Earth Spirit Old Ghost, flooding the pavilion like a vast ocean. The heavens dimmed, and even the countless peach blossoms in the grove trembled with fear. Say 7-star Docian? How is this possible? Sect Master AI stammered, his voice quivering at the sight. Enough, the Earth Spirit Old Ghost said flatly. This time, the lovesick tree will be left to Spirit Hall. I'll ensure our Earth Hall disciples stay out of it. However, while we may refrain, I can't guarantee that sects under our protection won't make their own moves, Sect Master Ling replied with a smile. In that case, I must thank Sect Master Ling. Farewell. Moments later, the Earth Spirit Old Ghost vanished into the air, his purpose achieved. Sect Master Ling. The fact that the Earth Spirit Old Ghost has reached the 7-star Docian level is astonishing, Sect Master AI said gravely once the figure had completely disappeared. In Spirit Hall, only Zhangwan has barely reached the half-step 7-star Docian level. But now, the Earth Spirit Old Ghost has broken through, which is shocking indeed, Sect Master Ling mused. Even within our entire Earth Hall, though all three of our Sect Masters are 7-star Docian experts, reaching this level signifies true transcendence. We must tread carefully. Moreover, The Earth Spirit Old Ghost is closely allied with Luo Zhamu, and their origins are enigmatic. Provoking them would be unwise, Sect Master Ling continued. We've already claimed abundant resources from the Earth Hall. Let Spirit Hall take this one. Pass on my order. No Earth Hall disciples are to interfere with the lovesick tree. Violators will be dealt with according to Academy rules. His commanding voice echoed throughout the peach grove, stern and resolute. The scorching sun soon faded, and by nightfall, the chill of the Earth Spirit Hall cut deep into the bone. In Spirit Hall, at the residence of Sect Master Luo Zhamu, rustle, under the cover of night, a shadowy figure slipped through the darkness, cautiously approaching the residence while evading detection. Perfect. Ancestor Luo isn't here. Xiao Lan, back so late? A warm, affectionate voice suddenly rang out. Oh no, oh no. Moments later, a shadowy figure, Luo Minglan, rushed forward, disregarding everything else as her speed soared, darting straight toward her own room. You troublemaker. Get over here. A cold snort echoed, and in an instant, Luo Minglan's figure was grabbed by an invisible hand and brought to a stone table in the courtyard. At that moment, Luo Zhamu sat calmly at the edge of the stone table, while Luo Minglan appeared with a slight pout on her lips. Ancestor Luo, it's so late. What do you need from me? The night is dark and chilly. You should take care of your health, Ancestor. Let me fetch a robe for you. Luo Minglan's large, watery eyes darted around as she spoke, clearly trying to find an excuse to escape. Oh, your strength? Luo Zhamu's expression suddenly turned strange. I had a lucky breakthrough to early 4-star Docian while in Spirit Mountain, Luo Minglan replied honestly. 4-star Docian. Huh? Good, very good. Luo Zhamu nodded slowly, a faint smile forming as a peculiar thought flickered in his mind. Enough. No need for the robe. Isn't this all about Ling Yu's forced marriage proposal from Earth Hall? If you don't wish to marry, just refuse outright. No need to sneak around like this, Luo Zhamu said with a chuckle, watching Luo Minglan feign composure. What? Luo Minglan looked utterly stunned upon hearing this. She remembered vividly how Ling Yu and his father, Sect Master Ling, had pressured the Master of Ferocious Souls and Luo Zhamu about the marriage. Luo Zhamu had seemed pleased at the time, but now his attitude was entirely different. What's wrong? Luo Zhamu asked, amused as he observed Luo Minglan standing stiffly on the stone table. Nothing. Luo Minglan bit her lip and hesitated before continuing. Thank you, Ancestor. But if I refuse the marriage, will it cause trouble for you? It might, but don't worry. With Earth Spirit Old Ghost and me backing you, even if Earth Hall feels slighted, they'll have to accept it. After all, matters of the heart require mutual consent, Luo Zhamu reassured her with a smile. Luo Minglan nodded eagerly, her expression brightening. Ever since her birth, she hadn't known her parents, and only Ancestor Luo and Earth Spirit Old Ghost had truly cared for her. Now that you've reached 4-star Docian, there's something I can no longer keep hidden from you. Follow me, Luo Zhamu said. After a moment's silence, he rose and walked toward the most central area of the courtyard. Isn't that where the Luo clan's ancestral shrine is located? Luo Minglan murmured, her heart filling with questions. Nevertheless, she followed carefully. Ancestral shrine of the Luo clan. These 4 gilded characters loomed before her. Luo Minglan clearly remembered this shrine being the most mysterious place within the residence. It was heavily guarded, and no one was allowed to approach. Life gives birth to all things, and all things obey the laws of existence. Unlock. As they approached, a powerful isolation barrier enveloped the shrine. Luo Zhamu extended his hand, releasing strands of gray-white energy that pulsed with an enigmatic force. These threads intertwined with his complex hand seals before flowing into the shrine's grand door. Boom! With a thunderous noise, both Luo Zhamu and Luo Minglan were enveloped in a brilliant light and transported into the shrine. Ancestor, this? Luo Minglan's voice trailed off as her gaze fell on hundreds of spirit tablets arranged neatly within the shrine. A weighty sense of solemnity pressed upon her chest. Each of these tablets belonged to a deceased powerhouse of the Luo clan. What puzzled Luo Minglan most was the faint traces of gray-white energy emanating from the tablets. Though the energy lacked any elemental attribute, her instincts told her it was far from ordinary. Our Luo clan has been in the ghost realm for centuries now. When we first arrived, I was just an unknown nobody. It was only through the blessings of our ancestors that I became who I am today, Luo Zhamu said, bowing deeply to the tablets before him. Ancestor? Luo Minglan whispered softly. But the ghost realm is not our original homeland. This place is rife with ghostly energy and endless schemes. We belong in our birthplace, our true home. And where is that? Luo Minglan asked, a sense of foreboding creeping into her voice. Our homeland lies in the heavenly silver continent, beneath the human realm, Luo Zhamu said gravely. Heavenly? Silver continent? From now on, Minglan, you must come to the clan's ancestral hall daily to pay homage to these spirit tablets. Moreover, the grayish-white energy on the spirit tablets must be absorbed little by little every day. Once you have fully absorbed this energy, I will annul the forced marriage, allowing you to leave the ghost realm and return to our homeland, Luo Zhamu said gravely after a moment. Understood, ancestor. Luo Minglan responded with overwhelming joy, agreeing immediately. Begin now. Today marks the first day. With these words, Luo Zhamu slowly retreated from the hall. As soon as Luo Zhamu left, Luo Minglan knelt on the prayer mat, and a brilliant icy do qi emerged from her body. Silently reciting some prayers, she began her worship. What she failed to notice was that as she performed this ritual, the grayish-white energy on the spirit tablets began to tremble ever so slightly. Streams of this energy moved at an imperceptibly slow pace, entering her body bit by bit. This grayish-white energy was peculiar, seemingly devoid of power. Yet, if Xiao were here, he would immediately recognize it as sacred power. Sacred power served as a preparatory foundation for absorbing sacred flames, much like the pills Xiao prepared to consume sacred flames. However, this sacred power was something only a sacred flame guardian could generate. Absorbing such an immense amount of sacred power would make it significantly easier to later assimilate the corresponding sacred flame. Is everything set? A voice suddenly came from the void outside the ancestral hall after a short while. Yes. The sacred flame ranked 35th resides within Xiao, but the sacred flame guarded by our Luo clan is vastly superior. This time, whether it takes a few years or a few decades, as long as Minglan absorbs all the sacred power needed to devour the sacred flame, I will leave the ghost realm and return to our homeland, where she will truly consume the sacred flame, Luo Zhamu muttered softly. That works too. This girl has had a tough life, and I promised her parents I would protect her. When the time comes, I'll accompany you back, replied the earth spirit old ghost with a smile after a moment. You. Luo Zhamu was startled upon hearing this. That's enough. Let it be. I still have some time to guide this one who bears the sacred flame. I have a feeling that he is no ordinary individual. By the way, recent movements of the Sin clan and the extraterritorial evil clan have been a bit extensive. Stay alert. With these final words, the earth spirit old ghost vanished. At dawn the following day, as the city awakened to its usual bustling activity, a sharp voice broke the quiet of Xiao and Xiao Gui's residence. You brat! Get up now! Hearing the voice of Elder of Earth, Xiao and Xiao Gui quickly got dressed and stepped out of their rooms. Come, I'll take you to the spirit hall, the Elder of Earth said nonchalantly as he glanced at the two, then began walking toward the city's center. Isn't this a bit too hasty? Xiao muttered, his face lined with exasperation. Being dragged out so early in the morning clearly wasn't just about visiting the Spirit Hall. The Spirit Hall is one of the few superpowers under the ferocious soul domain. It is entirely different from the sects you've encountered before. You'll understand when we arrive, but I doubt you'll stay in the Spirit Hall for long this time, the Elder of Earth said enigmatically as he led them forward. As the trio headed toward the city center, Xiao Gui noticed the decreasing number of people around them and voiced his concern. This is strange. Why are there fewer people, and why does it seem like the path ahead is blocked? Xiao surveyed his surroundings and noticed something peculiar as well. A faint white glow now enveloped them, seemingly rendering them invisible to those around them. The spirit hall is indeed in the city center, visible yet inaccessible to ordinary people, the Elder of Earth explained. Only disciples of the spirit hall, bearing the necessary tokens, can enter. Tokens? Xiao glanced at the white glow surrounding him. While it seemed powerless, it exuded a subtle and extraordinary aura. This glow serves as your token, a mere trick. Let's go. With that, the trio arrived at the city's very center. What lay before them was remarkable. Though the city spanned nearly 100 miles, its center housed an imposing mansion. Silent and ancient, the mansion stood untouched by outsiders. Although ordinary people could see the grandeur of the spirit hall, they were unable to enter. Any attempt to step into its premises was repelled by a special energy, leaving the city center perpetually tranquil. Swish, swish. The three arrived in front of the majestic residence. Suddenly, the Elder of Earth raised his hand, a dazzling white aura emanating from his palm, effortlessly enveloping them completely. Buzz, buzz, buzz. In the next moment, their figures disappeared into space, reappearing in an entirely different scene. So, the residence quietly standing at the city center is merely an illusion. The real spirit hall is actually located high above the city, Xiao remarked with a smile, his powerful soul sense detecting the shift. Sharp perception for a young one, the Elder of Earth commented. This is the spirit hall. His voice boomed like a resonating bell. Spirit hall. As his words echoed, Xiao and Xiao looked ahead. The spirit hall was situated thousands of meters in the air, amidst undulating mountains and dense forests. A massive river cascaded vertically from the heavens, threading through the landscape. On both sides of the river stood ancient, elegant buildings, exuding a timeless charm. Faint yet powerful auras emanated from these structures. Even the weakest among them belonged to the ranks of 4-star Docians. This spirit hall is truly unique, Xiao remarked, shaking his head, puzzled at the reasoning behind building so many structures along a skybound river. This river is called the Spirit River. Over countless years, it has absorbed the energy of heaven and earth, forming a mysterious spirit vein. Cultivating here yields twice the results with half the effort, the Elder of Earth explained. However, our spirit hall disciples differ from those of other sections. Within the three-tiered regions of the Earth Spirit Hall, lower, middle, and upper, the Earth Hall occupies the most fertile lower domain. Our Spirit Hall's headquarters is in the upper domain, while the middle domain, the largest area with the most sects, is managed by us. These sects are mostly at the 4-star Docian level, with very few 5-star Docian experts. The Earth Spirit Hall's mission is to nurture and train administrative talent for the entire Ferocious Soul domain. Thus, our disciples' cultivation is tied to managing these sections. Every 3 years, during the Sect tournament, rankings are determined based on the performance of the sects managed by our disciples and one-on-one duels between the managers. Rewards and penalties are given accordingly. Disciples who excel in the Sect tournament are directly sent to the Earth Hall. Joining the Earth Hall grants eligibility to become the Lord of Dimensions of one of the countless continents under the Ferocious Soul domain, or even a position in the Temple of the Master of Ferocious Souls, the Elder of Earth elaborated. What? Xiao was stunned. We're supposed to manage an entire sect on our own? And in 3 years, our rankings will depend on both the competition among the sect disciples and duels between us as managers. If the rankings were solely based on personal combat, Xiao was confident in his chances. But managing a sect and nurturing disciples was entirely outside his expertise. Huh, are you scared? The Elder of Earth smiled mischievously. Elder, please stop joking. I have no clue how to manage a sect. If one were handed to me without preparation, I'm afraid. Xiao shrugged helplessly, his eyes pleading for help. I've already arranged it. You and Xiao will form a team, the Elder of Earth replied with a smile after a pause. Thank you, Elder. Xiao was overjoyed. With Xiao handling the management, he could focus on minor tasks. The competition in 3 years would then be far easier to handle. Only by achieving a significant status here in the Spirit Hall can you earn the right to cultivate in this environment. Due to the special nature of the Earth Spirit Hall, we do not impose strict strength requirements on you. Regardless of your rankings in 3 years, you will receive substantial resources. Your talent is evident since you've been admitted to the Spirit Hall, so there's no need to worry about your strength. However, do not neglect the responsibilities of this management period, the Elder of Earth advised earnestly. Big brother, don't worry. I think I can handle this, Xiao Gui reassured, seeing Xiao Yan's troubled expression. However, Xiao Yan couldn't tell if Xiao Gui was truly confident or just trying to comfort him. Now, take this token and head to your assigned sect, the Elder of Earth instructed. A beautifully crafted token shimmering with gold and silver appeared in his palm, with a vivid flame symbol carved on it. Boom! The sound of spatial tunnels fluctuating reverberated, and in an instant, Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui were unceremoniously ejected from the tunnel. Thud! With a heavy landing, the two found themselves atop a small hill. Big brother, where are we? Xiao Gui quickly scanned their surroundings, only to discover a desolate landscape. This place seemed to be several miles away from the Spirit Hall city in the upper region. Now, unable to use spatial travel or even traverse the skies, they had no choice but to journey on foot to their assigned sect, which would undoubtedly delay their arrival. Elder of Earth has expelled us. It seems he wants us to report to the sect ahead of schedule, Xiao Yan remarked calmly, evidently picking up on the implications in Elder of Earth's earlier words. With the lovesick tree about to emerge, it's better to stabilize the sect we're assigned to manage first before dealing with the lovesick tree situation. The disciples accepted into the Spirit Hall were all outstanding talents from their respective continents, their strength and potential beyond question. However, Earth Spirit Hall was designed to nurture talents to serve the Master of Ferocious Souls and the entirety of the Ferocious Soul domain, making management an essential skill. Each disciple was tasked with independently managing a sect for 3 years. The results of this management would then be evaluated to determine their leadership capabilities. This unique training approach set the Spirit Hall apart. After all, if one couldn't manage even a small sect, how could they hope to govern an entire dimension as a Lord of Dimensions? Let's go. We'll head to this sect first, Xiao Yan said after glancing at the token in his hand. But, big brother, do you even know which sect this is? Xiao Gui suddenly remembered and asked. The central region was home to hundreds of sections. Without specific information, it would be like searching for a needle in a haystack. Elder of Earth. Xiao Yan's face darkened upon hearing this, muttering a silent curse. Achoo! Which brat is cursing me? Wait, I think I forgot to tell Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui that the sect they're heading to is the 10,000 Fires sect? In a house above the Spirit River within the Spirit Hall, Earth's Spirit Old Ghost slapped his forehead in regret. Never mind. A little extra experience is good for them, he muttered before closing his eyes to rest. In the Earth Spirit Hall's central region, a chaotic land teeming with activity, sects of all sizes stood side by side, locked in constant contention. Survival here required immense strength. Although the Spirit Hall's methods were extreme, nearly 90% of the central region's sects supported the approach. After all, having Spirit Hall disciples manage their sects enhanced their power. However, this kind of management was often fraught with challenges initially. It was no small feat for an inexperienced newcomer to assume control of a sect and manage it like a sect master. Yet, overcoming such difficulties was integral to the Spirit Hall's training philosophy. Atop a rugged cliff, with jagged peaks surrounding it and searing heat, making the area resemble a furnace, lay the headquarters of the 10,000 Fires sect. Sect leader, the Spirit Hall disciples still haven't arrived, said an elderly figure within the grand hall of the 10,000 Fires sect. 3 figures presided over the hall, the key leaders of the sect. The sect leader, Hua Yi, possessed the strength of a mid-4-star Docian. Elder Hua, a half-step 4-star Docian. The Great Elder of Fire Cloud, an early 4-star Docian. What the hell are those 3 sect masters of the Spirit Hall doing? Roared the red-haired man seated at the head, his voice echoing like a bell. Why haven't they sent anyone to our sect yet? Did something delay them? In the Azure Cloud Pavilion, it said a newly assigned early 4-star Docian displayed such power that even its strong dissenters were subdued. That person's strength rivaled some mid-4-star Docians. Because of this, the Azure Cloud Pavilion's reputation has soared recently, Elder Hua said slowly. Elder Hua, issue my order. Our 10,000 Fires sect will enter a month-long lockdown. No visitors allowed. Seal the only entrance to our sect. Hua Yi's dissatisfaction was evident. If that Spirit Hall disciple dares to delay, let's show them the consequences. Understood. Elder Hua left to execute the orders. Great Elder, what's your view on this matter? Hua Yi asked softly once Elder Hua departed. Sect leader, the Spirit Hall has sent not one but 2 disciples to manage our sect this time. When I was assigning disciples at the Spirit Hall, I received the golden invitation, but I never reported it to the sect leader, said the red-robed Great Elder of Fire Cloud after a brief pause. Xiao Yin and Xiao Gui? The 2 brothers? According to the Spirit Hall's conventions, isn't it always one person managing a sect? Why are there 2 of them this time? The red-haired man asked, puzzled. What are their strengths? The red-haired man asked the next moment. Xiao Gui is a perfected 3-star Docian, replied the red-robed Great Elder of Fire Cloud. A perfected 3-star Docian. Huh? That's not bad. Hopefully, under his leadership, our 10,000 Fires sect can gain some valuable resources, the red-haired sect leader said. Sect leader, there's another one named Xiao Yin. His strength is late 3-star Docian, the red-robed Great Elder of Fire Cloud added after a moment, his voice tinged with concern. Late 3-star Docian? With such strength, does he think he's qualified to manage our 10,000 Fires sect? If he dares to come, I'll make sure he doesn't leave. The red-haired man burst out violently upon hearing Xiao Yan's strength. The strength of a manager reflects the potential of their sect. Sending someone at the late 3-star Docian level to manage their sect of 4-star Docians was nothing short of a joke. Sect leader, you mustn't act rashly. Although Xiao Yan's strength is weak, he was personally assigned by Earth Spirit Old Ghost, one of the 3 sect masters of the Spirit Hall. And Earth Spirit Old Ghost's status and strength are among the top in the Spirit Hall. For someone like him to value Xiao Yan so highly, this Xiao Yan must have some extraordinary qualities, the red-robed Great Elder of Fire Cloud tried to reason. Enough, Great Elder of Fire Cloud. This matter has been decided by me, the sect leader. Say no more. Even if that boy has Earth Spirit Old Ghost behind him, I'll make sure to crush his arrogance this time. With those words, the 10,000 Fires sect instantly fell into a tranquil state, signaling the beginning of its self-seclusion.